we go. All right, Anama, you'd asked a question about link building from blog posts.
Right. I had done some research on some competitors, and the blog posts had primarily internal links, like maybe one external link of the 10 sites I looked at. So I was wondering if it is useful to have external links to reputable sites.
Okay.
For explanations, for definitions, things like that.
Yeah, a great question, because for a long time there was an SEO theory going out that Google was giving you bonus from linking out to credible sites. That's been long disproven. Now, that doesn't mean you shouldn't link out to credible sites. And it definitely means that Google does hold you accountable if you link out to poor quality websites, but it doesn't give you a bonus by linking out to credible websites. Otherwise, we would just link out to Wikipedia and rank all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because Wikipedia is consistently ranked as a high quality website in Google's eyes, or the New York Times, or whatever, Harvard or whatever, you know. So there's nothing wrong with linking out, except when you're linking out to a low quality website. Google, and that's why like user generated content, you have to be very, very careful with, like blog comments or forums or stuff like that, making sure you're not allowing someone to spam their poor quality website by adding user generated content to your site, like blog comments. But there's no real reason from an SEO perspective to link out. Now, there could be a great reason from a human perspective. Maybe it's citing sources, right? Maybe it's just being helpful. But you also know that you'll be losing that traffic as it goes to that site. So I kind of had a conflict with the client recently who was like, can you go through our website and tell us all these credible websites that we can link to? And I'm like, well, I mean, I can, but it doesn't help you. And they were pretty adamant, no, we need to do this. And anyway, there was this rumor for a long time that you should link out to websites for credibility. And that's just not true. When we talk about link building, we're primarily talking about two different kinds of link building. One is linking within our website to our core landing pages. This is also called a hub and spoke strategy. And I make a distinction between two different pages on your website. One I call a landing page, which is more of a sales-oriented page, which is what we uncover during the keyword research process. We do the keyword research, we identify what pages on our website customers are looking for, and we make sure we talk about the product and have a strong call to action on that page. Those are the sale. We get the sale on that page. Well, then we have blog posts, and those are all about, well, there's a lot of reasons we have blog posts on a blog, but one of the main reasons is that we have internal links from the blog posts to the landing pages, and we create a hub and spoke system. Google values internal links from within content of things like blog posts to other pages. It doesn't count for SEO purposes links from navigation. It can follow links in navigation, but it doesn't give the SEO benefit. So that's why a blog post is really helpful to build that. Now, when we learn that, sometimes people go a little bit crazy and they'll add a whole bunch of links in all their blog posts. No. We want Google only counts the first link it encounters within text on a blog post. So if you have 5 links to the same page within the text of a blog post, it only counts the first one. However, it does divide the authority passed by the number of links on that page. So if you have 5 links to one page, the first link sends a fifth of the authority to that page, and the 4 other links don't pass any authority to that same page. Now, if you have 5 links to 5 different pages each gets a fifth of the authority of that page. So that's one thing of link building. The other part of link building, and the really hard part of link building, is linking from other websites to your site. That's the hard part. Because and that's just kind of ironic, because people believe that if you link to a credible website, it helps your website, but then they don't want to link to your website. And it's not like we're building crappy, spammy Louis Vuitton handbag websites trying to trick people into whatever. No, we support legitimate businesses, incredible websites. So, but we have to be really creative and start to think about how we can earn a link. And part of earning a link is sometimes just frankly asking for the link. But there's always has to be a reason why someone would link to us. And according to Google's link schemes rules, and they have very explicit link schemes rules, which before you do any link building, you should read. And it's documented in Curious Ants, so you can get to it. But you can't give money for links. Now, some people say, well, how does Google know you've given money for links? And yeah, Google might have a hard time with it. But I'd say of all the link building I've done in my life professionally, because I don't do a lot personally, is you can tell. I mean, you can look at that and be like, oh, that was a paid link. There's no reason that link would exist except with money change hands. So we want to avoid that. But that doesn't mean link building doesn't cost something, right? Sometimes the cost is time. Hey, I'm going to take time and ask you for this. Sometimes I'm going to take time and write something for you to include on your website. Sometimes the cost is paying a writer to write something or a graphic designer to create something. Link building, it should be free, but it's not. We just can't pay someone for placement if we want Google to count the link and give us full credit. So there's this balance of we don't pay for the link, but it does take time and money to develop the link. And that money, because we're either doing it ourselves or paying someone to take the time to do it, is going to cost us time and effort, which is going to be money ultimately. So we're not trying to pay for these links. Those don't count in Google's eyes. We do need to take time and effort to learn to earn that link. And part of that is simply asking for it. So behind me is kind of this has kind of been the link building plan for a long time. I don't know. It's reversed for me. Is it reversed for all of you?
No.
You can read it? Okay, good.
Mhm.
So the basic link building process I use is I kind of like to think of it in three ways. One is anybody talking about my brand? Another is anybody talking about a competitor to my brand? And third is anybody talking about the topic about which my website is also talking? And so I got my little chart down here, which kind of helps you work through that. So like, if you want to look for mentions of your brand, you do a site search. Or sorry, you go to Google and you type your brand name. But I also like to do a -site: with my domain name to make sure Google doesn't return my own website. So in other words, the -site: with my domain name says, Google, don't give me results from my own domain name. And you start to find other people talking about your company. Okay. Those can become, Well, that's that's a starting point. You can do a similar thing with your competitors. Type your competitor name in and then -site : your competitor's domain name and see who's talking about your competitors. You can, when it comes to topics, it's a little different. You're kind of Googling your topic and just seeing who is talking about your topic. And then you can't really read it up there, far there. But there's kind of a process I like to think about. Like, if someone's talking about one of these things, my brand, a competitor, or a topic, could that mention become a link to my website? And you have to ask yourself, well, if, put your cynical hat on, why would somebody take the time to go change their website for you? And that's hard. But that's why we call it link earning too, right? So is there something on your website that's uniquely helpful to them? Or sometimes it can be as simple as, hey, you're talking about my company, but you don't link to it. Would you mind adding a link? Because I think your users would like to find my company. That actually works better than you realize. Now, when it comes to your competitors, the question isn't, hey, you're linking to my competitor, would you link to me too? But the question is, if that website's willing to link to my competitor, would they be willing also to link to me? So we have to wonder, why are they linking to my competitor? And is it an interview with a company in my town? Well, if I'm in the same town, wouldn't they like to interview my client too? Is it input on a particular topic that's relevant that you and your competitor share? Well, maybe they'd like your perspective too. So you kind of have to think about, why would they link to me by using these competitors? Another question is, maybe by looking at these websites, you ask yourself, does this website even have a blog? If they have a blog, maybe they would like an article from you, and it could become a guest blogging opportunity. Again, we don't pay people for this, but if they have a blog, they're going, crap, what I got to write about today? I got to think of something to write about. If you can come in and help them with a high quality, well-written, unique article never published anywhere else, they might be willing to add it to their website. And guess what? They're going to cite you as the source and link to your website because you asked them nicely, right? Same with topics. If has a website dedicated to topic that you're in your industry, and they have a blog, what if you were to write something for their blog? Would they be interested in that? Well, you have to ask. Another thing down lower is what I call profiles. And that kind of gets into the whole local citations thing. And not every local citation offers a link building opportunity, and not every link building opportunity from local citations count, because they'll follow the links frequently. Or if it's an app, like Google or like Apple Maps, well, that's not a website, so it can't count as a link. But that doesn't mean it's not worthwhile. There's a lot of value in that. But there's also other kinds of profiles, like, what if there were some sort of association in your industry? The National Tarp Builders Association. Hey, that's pretty boring to me, but there are people who need tarps and manufacture tarps and need to hang together for legislative reasons to regulate and mandate tarp usage on pickup trucks, and maybe they'd have a blog, or maybe they have a list of members and link to your website. So kind of asking these questions, and so we can then follow the whole idea. Are there profile websites listing your brand? Are there profile websites listing your competitors? If they're profile websites, well, great. you should be listed there too. And if there's profile websites based on your topic, well, shoot, you should be on that profile website, almost whether or not you get a link. Right?
Yeah.
And then below here is kind of, you can't really see it off screen. It's like the blogging idea. So also going after and proactively looking for blogs willing to talk about you. Maybe there's blogs already talking about your brand. That's an easy pitch. Someone's already talking about you. Hey, would you like us to give you an update? Hey, we'd like to write for you again. As long as you take time to write new and unique content, people are going to be very responsive, especially in a world of AI where they're getting a ton of AI generated crap. If you actually take time to write something, they will be grateful and possibly willing to accept it. If your competitor's writing in a blog, as long as they don't control the blog, like your competitor's never going to allow you to write in their blog. But maybe they'd like a different perspective. And then if there's a blog on your topic, yes, please. I would like to write in your blog, your TARP oriented blog, right? Again, you're even if you didn't get a link, which is the whole goal of this, being present in a TARP oriented blog and mentioning your brand name would be a win. And so this is just kind of the thing. And then there's one thing I kind of added here, which is sometimes our clients, our customers, or even ourselves aren't getting out there, and there are no brand mentions. And so what we have to do is find ways to get people to talk about us. And that's where things like press releases can help us create mentions. Now, the links off press releases should not count for SEO. Technically, they should be no follow. That means they don't count for link building. So we don't want to spam press releases thinking it somehow helps us. That's old school SEO. It doesn't work anymore. And it's just a waste of your time and money. But if you can think of reasons why anybody in the press would be interested in your company, then you could potentially create mentions and then hit them up for brand links, or create mentions if someone's covering your press release. Well, maybe they'd like a unique article rather than some generic press release. And you can begin to use that. And that's where it's systems like Haro or help a business reporter out can be really helpful to create those mentions. And they also, Haro does a really great job in generating links. That's how this all fits together as part of we shouldn't call it link building. We should call it link earning a strategy, because that's like one of the underrated aspects of SEO that is hard, but it's hard for everybody. So if we can be the one to do it, we're going to show up in search results for our customers. And that's a huge win for us.
I have two thoughts.
Yeah.
One is, what about going to people that you buy stuff from that you naturally would anyway, and ask them if they have you could either do a testimonial or like they could do a customer profile on you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that would be
as long as you're not trading links.
Yeah, it wouldn't be trading links, and it has to be. There's got to be integrity there.
Yeah, because trading links is explicitly against Google's link building schemes. And so when you do that, Dave, I have found problems where, hey, thank you. Can we do one for you? And you're like, ooh,
yeah,
no.
yeah, that's yeah.
Oh, yeah. What was your thought?
Well, what about? It seems like a decent way that might work would be go get interviewed on podcasts.
Yes.
Industry.
Yes. Yes. Podcasts are more than happy to link to you.
Because it seems like it almost seems like easier than saying, hey, I'll write a blog and put it on your site and all that. just because there's a lot of people looking for content, looking for interviews, and
Yes.
and that's actually very good for your brand building too, I would think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And it depends. This kind of creative thinking is like the requirement of link building. You have to think creatively. Not every industry has a podcast series about it.
That's true. That's true.
My wife, who works in a very different form of marketing, however, gets her company on podcasts all the time.
Yeah, I have to go. I'm meeting in a minute. All right.
I have a
Thank you all.
question on what.
Cool. Thanks, Dave.
Bye.
Bye. Quick question on the board. You have when you're talking about the mention, and you have the dash site and then colon, and then you're supposed to put your URL or your business there. Can you show me? But I'm not putting that in right.
Okay.
Because mine's coming up.
So if we were to do it for, let me just pull up here for
Because I'm taking it that dash is means not to include it. Your
right.
website.
So I could go and
That's
I could do reliable acorn, right?
Uh-huh.
And I do dash site
Oh.
colon.
Oh,
So what that's going to give me in
Okay.
Google search results
I got
is
it.
websites that mention reliable acorn. And one of the tricks to doing this is doing a few Google searches with this until you get the right results. Sometimes you have to do quotation marks around it,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
right? And so it's giving is all my business profiles, inc.com. You
Okay.
can just see that I've done this process for Curious Ants, Reliable Acorn, right?
Yes. Okay. Okay. Perfect. That's what I needed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But sometimes the more ambiguous company names, you have to do a few Google search. Now, in Curious Ants, the link building process, there's another step to automate this that's in the process, but you're going to have to take time to look at the process in
Okay.
Curious Ants, because
Yeah, perfect.
you can almost automate this.
Okay.
I think I did something like that.
Yeah.
I'll say that's in
It's
can't remember what
under
it-
the branded link building process.
yes, and I've
And
done
I don't
it.
want
and
to
I
say
did
it on the video
recently.
because I want people who
Okay.
watch this to go and sign up
Yes.
for Curious Ants
So
they
watch
can
it
see.
on the video, and yes.
But so there's
I'm just
kind of
trying
a
to
way
think
to
of-
automate this that will help too, which is the best. Which is why you got to really make sure you're only returning. So, for example, Curious Ants.
Yes.
Okay, well, good. I come up. Oh, it's much better than it used to be, but ants on a log. Okay. TikTok. Okay, so with Curious Ants, I might modify it with SEO.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go site, colon. But be sure to put the dash before site colon, or it will only return.
Yes. With
So-
it, yes.
Now we're getting
Okay.
all the places that talk about Curious Ants
Okay.
that are not
Yeah.
on
Your website,
my
curiousants.com.
website. WordCamp Europe. Paid Membership Pro, right? Anyway,
Yeah.
there's a hero
Okay.
opportunity I got one time.
I
Right.
saw that and I was like, Fiverr. Oh, yeah.
They didn't give me the link. So. Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
So.
Well, it's good to see y'all.
Thank you. You too.
All right. We'll be in touch. Have a great
Yeah.
week.
See you next week.
All right. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.